Okay, so I have a lot to talk about, but anyway, I want to give you an interesting weather report. It has been raining non-stop. Well, it actually stopped now, I think. But early in the morning, actually from yesterday, it just started pouring and continued early in the morning. So, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there are some pools all over. Uh, Obviously, I'm not going to jump on them, but overall, it's pretty interesting just to have weather after a couple of days of hot weather. Now, personally, I think that it's about time because this is a specific season where the weather's supposed to be cold. Anyways, I'm just not a major fan of it. Anyways, what can we look for as I want to talk about current topics? I don't have anything else to talk about, so okay, you know what? Let me give you an update about myself because hold on, okay, let me just give you an update about myself because that some of you guys don't really know what's going on, or some of you guys are really interested to know what's going through my life right now. Oh, by the way, I got news finally, you know. Um, I've had sandals actually, but then it broke. Um, the problem is that these sandals, as much as I love them, you can see it's all foam. It's all foam, and everything is held together really tightly, but sometimes come out. Um, Personally, the sandals feels good, but I had a different sandals I think last year, which felt so much better because there was texture on front, and you could easily rub your feet over it. It was so good. But anyways, let me give you an update about myself because why not? So, if you don't know, I'm sick. I've been sick since March. In you could maybe say it's developing around um, February, late February, but March around that time I went to the doctors. I really was going through so much. I've done a lot of live streams, so you can easily watch those live streams if you have the time to. But overall, I've had a lot of problems. I think the major just having a slight fever, and then developing this lump by my jaw. The lump is obviously known as a lymph node. I don't think I've gotten one in recent times. Maybe I've had, but this one has been staying for such a long time. Went to the doctors and came back with medicine, and the medicine did not really help as much. And throughout that time, things got a bit more worse. I also had a lot of on my ear forming, and today you know, there's a round one on my left ear. There were two of them, but all of a sudden, I guess they fused. What else? It just kept coming on my right ear for some reason, and even though they are shrunken, it doesn't change the fact that they are still there on my ear. Normally, it takes a couple of days or even weeks just for it to disintegrate, but unfortunately, this is staying, which is so annoying. And plus, you still have my lymph node. Been going a lot of stomach problems. What else? Obviously, last week I went again to the doctor to get a lot of things sorted out. Also, I have a lump in my mouth. Now, this lump I figured out, well, I found out it was there around, say, uh, maybe, possibly I've noticed a couple days after I've been to doctors, or maybe it actually was there before and I never took note. But overall, I've had this lump for like 8 weeks now, and this is just completely insane to have so much problems happening. And recently been on medication. I'm actually on medication right now, but for something different. I've been for medication, and it actually somewhat helped my stomach in some. not the best, but just, because it was changing color a lot, so it actually helped me out. But now it's gone so old, changing colors. But there's something's wrong with the stool and everything around. I know it's disgusting to talk about. It's just so disgusting to talk about. But I have to talk about it to keep you updated. Anyways, a lot has just changed overall. A lot of the saws that's supposed to be still present. Sometimes they grow back, sometimes they shrink, but they're still there, and that's a big problem. Overall, I've been so vexed, and yeah, that's about it. Also, last week, I think around Monday it was, I think, or Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those days, I just before I was sleeping, I dropped my Nintendo Switch charger, and at that time I didn't really take note of anything. In the morning I woke up, I saw that it was freaking damaged. It was slanting. I don't have it with me, but the pins, you get those two pins. One of them was slanting. I tried pushing it back, you can't. That must have been a strong fall. It wasn't that long of a fall, it was just a very heavy one. So I had to get a new charger. I decided just to get the cable because there were, other types of chargers out there. The official Nintendo charger costed literally almost $60. Really insane. This is why you must take good care of your chargers, or at least don't be clumsy with them, because I was taking such good care of that. Not the best, but an okay care, I guess. But it just slipped out of my hands. So I decided to get a charger, and then as I was there shopping, looking for other types of cables to get, then I noticed, you know what? I want to watch something. I want to watch something really good. So I was thinking of getting the Lord of the Rings movies. I was thinking of possibly the extended editions. Don't get me wrong, the theatricals are pretty impressive, but the problem is, especially for like the Fellowship of the Ring, and what's the other movie? And The Return of the King. Those two movies, you definitely need the extended editions because it has vital information on the extended editions. So even if you aren't an hardcore fan of The Lord of the Rings or any of Tolkien's work, then you know you might think this should not apply to you, but it should because from a standpoint of a movie watcher, you want to have all the context necessary, because it actually builds up more character. There was so much cut out from Fellowship, which once again, I feel like this could have really helped a lot of the movie. Um, Fellowship is a good movie. Out of the three, it's my favorite movie because it's so down to earth. And then the second one is more battle, which is more battle focused, which is okay. And the third one is one of the biggest epics ever. And look, these movies aren't perfect, obviously. But from all the movies I've ever watched in my life, these three movies are so good. I kid you not, they're so good. Okay? They are really good. I mean it. They're so good to watch. So, if you ever feel like watching something, or if you have never watched the trilogy before, I recommend watching it. It's so good. It really is good because the acting is good. Now, when it comes to CGI, obviously it's dated because it's made like, what, 2000s? The CGI is not that bad. The cinematography is fantastic. Just remember that they also used a lot of um, real life, you could say, platforms they had to build themselves. So they kind of meshed it in with CGI. So it has more of a realistic feel, but you can be the judge of that. Overall, they did a really good job. They did a really good job with these movies. you have um, you have these three movies, and I'm trying to find them. So I searched for them, and I saw this one DVD, which is like it's possibly like I don't know, maybe uh, I don't know if I should say the price, but it's not that expensive, like the cheapest of them all. Three movies, regular standard theatrical version, not Blu-ray, just DVD quality. I was thinking of buying that, but then I thought, you know what? You know what? That's just going to be fun. But what I'm looking for is the extended editions. So I searched for the extended editions, and there are extended editions. The problem is, it's so expensive. I kid you not, it's so expensive. Like $60 for the Blu-ray extended. That's insane, right? Um, Especially for movies that have been out for so long. Uh, but also it came with like the Hobbit movies, so there we go. But overall, I just couldn't find the extended Lord of the Rings without the Hobbits and just regular version, because don't get me wrong, Blu-ray seems fancy, but overall, it's not the good when they had a tint to it. It just makes everything look ugly. But overall, I tried looking for just the regular extended editions, couldn't find it. So I had to buy it secondhand. And I purchased it last week, I think Friday, and I've been waiting for a proper response. So I purchased it from a place that I've ordered before. I've ordered parts for my tablet, and overall, everything was right. My address was right. Everything was right. I'm just waiting for the seller to actually sell the product properly or deliver the product because I've paid for it. And I'm waiting. I'm genuinely waiting for the product. I don't know what's to come because it's been a couple of days, and I actually found the code of my product, and it was on the website I purchased it, and I searched for it on um, the delivery company, and I didn't find any useful information at first. It just said they were booked and they're waiting for something, and then on the 5th and 7th, the only responses were they tried to collect it, but something was wrong. If you're the sender, then you must talk or something like that. It's so ridiculous. I don't want to go through these problems again, but overall, hopefully everything comes out well. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm waiting for these three movies just to come. And it's the extended edition. That's why I'm so happy because I found an extended edition that's so cheap. I've been looking so hard just to find the extended edition. I struggled so much to find the extended edition. Now, there are extended editions on Google Play, but the only problem with that is you have to buy it. And the thing is that the cost of the extended, all of the extended editions, the three extended editions, will basically be a bit more than what I paid for all three of these movies altogether for secondhand. But I don't know. We'll just wait and see, and for the quality of everything. I don't know if the quality will be 100% perfect. I feel like it's a very old edition, so the quality won't be as up to date, but I'm worried about the DVD quality, as in the physical quality of the disc. Are those discs actually scratched or not? So I recently rented on Google Play The Fellowship of the King, just the theatrical version. And then I realized how long it was. So long. So basically adding 30 extra minutes of content, which is good in my opinion. If I just had more money, I could have easily purchased the Blu-ray versions because it came with 6 movies and all extended. So that wouldn't have been a problem. Okay, let's just search what's going on. So, any new news? Any new news going on? Let me check my subscriptions. So, what's going on with this? Um, with all of these types of, I don't know. I'm looking for a topic to talk about. I'm trying. Okay, the writers' strike. What's going on with that? Honestly, I have no idea what's going on with that. It seems pretty interesting to look into, but once again, the writers' strike. The writers' strike has been going on for a week now, and my best response is, yes, these people deserve to get paid more, but if you think about it, most of these writers don't write good stories for movies or shows. Most of them think the same. So why can't you just have one of those writers work for all of them? Because all of the writing will be the same. I guarantee you, all of the writing will be exactly the same. Because they grew up from the same place, they think the same, and they're not really nuanced. And basically, they kind of form themselves into this into this political side where now they can't question anything, they can't joke about anything. So at the end of the day, one writer can replace all of them because all of them speak and talk the same. So what's the big idea? Overall, this writer's strike really proves that without these writers, Hollywood is basically just a pile of dirt. And to be fair, adding the writers into the dirt will just basically mean adding stones to dirt. Not really a big change. So all I can say is that most of these writers, they don't they don't write good stories anymore. In fact, sometimes the actors or actresses of certain shows have to come out and actually change lines because they know the source material better than the writers. Most of the writers these days don't respect the source material. This is not surprising. We've all been through the Rings of Power. We know what's going on, and the writers did not give a damn. Also, when it came to the Witcher series, Henry Cavill was basically holding that entire series together. Like Jenna Ortega. Yes, exactly. Yes, she. She basically was also in the news for something about the writers. But anyways, yeah, it's really insane because these writers supposed to have so much of research, yet they don't want to do that. All they do is write. They're not acting. They have to write, so at least do some research on the source material. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple to do research on the source material since almost every source material is now lavished on Google. You can easily find it instead of reading an entire book or reading through major stories. You can easily find an entire history and understand it. But most of these writers don't want to do that. They think they're better than everyone else. Take comic book pros. Most of their comics are failing because they don't care about the original source material. For them, it's basically toys. They can do whatever they want, and if anyone complains, you can easily call them some bad word. And that's the saddest part of it all. There's no good criticism because these people block it. They block it. So, yeah, the writers' strike is going to continue for some time. All I can say is that, you know, on a personal level, this goes to show that most of these shows cannot survive without these writers. But at the same time, these writers, they all think the same. There's not much difference between them. So yeah, some people even want AI to work on the writing now. I don't know, that's a lot of work for AI. Um, AI is not the best either. Definitely not the best. Just understand that. And also, people can control it from within. So I will not trust it so much. It's just that I rather have a more diverse Hollywood, if you know what I mean, because Hollywood is so obsessed about diversity, only of skin tone. So if you think differently, then I'm sorry, but that Hollywood is not a place for you. It's just so sad. It's so sad because there are some really talented writers, and they can't have their works out because it's offensive or they said something offensive a couple years ago. So writing these days is going to be pretty uh, difficult. But then again, most of these writers don't want to actually write differently. Edginess now is just saying this bad swear word or saying something about private parts. That's somehow edgy. Apparently, that's supposed to be edgy. And then you have meta humor. I saw the trailer for, what was it? Shazam 2. I love the first Shazam. It's a good movie. I do recommend people watch it because it's so good. It came out back in 2019, so you may be thinking, okay, it may be recent, it may be terrible. No, this is pretty good. But then the sequel came out, and when you see the trailer, it's so bad. The trailer just does not want me to watch it. I'm sorry, but the trailer literally says no because it has so much of terrible humor, so much of meta humor. And this is a problem because meta humor is now the the only humor you can have. You can't have you can't have offensive humor. You can't have smart humor. You just have to have meta humor. So, in other words, you have to have a character screaming and shouting, "Oh my gosh, this is something. I'm literally doing this." That's supposed to be funny these days. That's terrible. So, it's something that I'm not interested in, and the trailer really spoke to me in opposite ways. Instead of trying to lure me in, it actually pushed me away. So overall, I am subscribed to a couple of new channels. I sometimes find these channels. I sometimes find these channels on the comment section, so I just subscribe to them. So yeah, I really miss making my old type of videos. I really miss that. It's so special just to go back and make those type of videos. I really miss it. Some of editing, you know. I think around this time I started posting. Let me check my library. Let me check all of my videos. It was around I started live streaming and oh my, no, not live streaming, just making videos. So let me go way back. There's so many videos I have. Might have to see the same video again and again because the way things are represented, it's terrible. I've seen one video like 3 or 4 times now. It's so annoying. Okay, we're getting to the normal side now. Okay, let me just put this slightly bright. Okay. We're now coming to the beginning of the year, last year. I know this is a long live stream, I'm sorry. Remember this? Remember this? When Tim Pool had a guest on and he wanted to fight. That was so ridiculous. And when was this? This was like 2021, right? Yeah, 18th December 2021. Wow, that was so long ago. Um, that was so long ago. Really long. 2021, I barely posted videos. But that was a very interesting year. It was a very quiet year. I wasn't obsessive about politics that time because 2020 was just so full of politics, honestly. So we're slowly scrolling through 2020 now, the late stages of 2020. I forgot I did this video. I did this video. I forgot about this. It's basically a M to F. It's an M to F 2 years ago, 26th November 2020. I forgot about that. I completely did. Um, I was somewhat obsessed about the election cycle for some time, and then I shouldn't have been obsessed about that. I should have been just normal. Remember the time I tasted chocolate peanut butter? Chocolate peanut butter taste. It's supposed to be taste test. Like around this time it was pretty dark. You had all your riots going on. You had a lot of crazy things going on. And then, you know, we had lockdowns, and with lockdowns, it came a lot of like just dark times because you see this weather over here, it's pretty bright. This darkened weather. Yeah, we had that. We literally had that during this time, but it was throughout the early months. So around March, it started being dark. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that life was like this? Really, that's an interesting question. So, where is it? Where's my New Year's Eve video? Happy New Year. This is it. So we slowly go back to 2019. This was my 1000 sub special. My phone vibrated. Let me check. What message is this? Just a regular message, not anything fancy. Okay. So, I'm just waiting for that order to come through. I might have to collect it, which is a big problem because I don't want to collect it. I want it delivered to me. So, I miss these times. I really do. I really miss these type of thumbnails. If you go back to my channel, you can see them clearly. They look so beautiful. Some of these images were not mine, and they were just videos I've taken, I've downloaded, and you can click those links and see the original video. But overall, um, here we go. My first video. My first video. So, I made this video because people were subscribing to me. They were subscribing to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make videos. This was 2019. Let me see the official dates. 3rd May. Guys, it's officially 4 years. it's 4 years since I've been making videos on this channel. In fact, I started making videos back in 2016 on older accounts. So 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't know. But overall, I've been here for some time. And I've seen the internet evolve in a good and bad way. I really miss the days of 2016. It was a pretty edgy time and everyone was wanting to be edgy. But now everyone's offended. Okay. I remember this video. So this was about a glitch. It was about a glitch. I was playing Final Fantasy 15 and there was a glitch. A character got stuck. As you can see. I can't play this music. It's a bit copyrighted, I think. I hope not. 30th June 2019. I think this was on a Sunday. So this was kind of like an interesting time. It was so calm, I remember. And all of a sudden, this character is just stuck. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I need to do a Winter is Here video. When was this video made? I think I've done one last year. Let me just see. July. So I'm just gonna make one around June, you could say, because winter slowly comes that time. If you think about it, autumn is gonna end, so I think I should at least make a video early. Oh, I miss these so much. I really miss making these type of videos, but unfortunately, I have no space to even edit anything. Are you neat? I don't know what that means. Anyways, if I had more space on this device, I could edit. I did insert my new SD card, and yes, I can't download anything because for some reason it won't want me to do that. Not employment, education, or training. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm not working right now. I want to work. I have a couple of things to do, but I have no employment or training. My education level is very low. I basically have till grade 9 levels of studies. That's basically it. I went to school and I stopped at grade 9. I finished grade 9 and I stopped it. That was it. I never continued school after that. So from 2018, I've been at home. I'm basically an high school dropout. Now, I wouldn't mind monetizing these videos, but YouTube really changed the game. Back in 2018, I remember waking up early in the morning and finding out the new news that YouTube changed its policy, meaning that you no longer need 2,000 views to make a video. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I never ever reached that amount, even with my old channel. I never got so close. Did not even get that close. Because there was such a difficult number to retrieve. If I was making memes or other types of content, I would have easily made it. But unfortunately, nothing worked out. So I can't monetize my videos. Yeah, that was back around 2017. You needed 2,000 views just to monetize your video. Hello. That's how it was in the past. Yes, it was so much better in the past because anyone could make it, but now it's more difficult to retrieve those hours. Now I think you need 100 euros to monetize. You need 4,000 watch hours and you need 1,000 subscribers. I already have subscribers and I just need the watch hours. So that's going to take forever. I've given up on that, to be frank, because you just can't have an only employment on YouTube. You have to have other types of businesses. So YouTube is not the same. Back in the day, you could make a couple millions of dollars, and that would be perfect. But now people are even struggling just to get 1,000 views. YouTube is different, and unless you are the most subscribed person like Mr. Beast, you aren't getting that much uh, money. And there are people out there who now have to adapt because if you did not adapt and you just stayed the same way, most people would not stay with you forever. So back in the day of 2014 and 15, people will make gaming videos. Even vlog channels had their own gaming channel because they wanted to kind of make content on that. And back then it was pretty trendy. Now games aren't trendy. YouTube, even though it helped the gaming genre, it also dissolved the gaming genre because gaming is not popular anymore. Now, the most popular type of content is what Mr. Beast does. And what he does is basically doing a lot of grand things. So you have to always make something bold, spend a lot of money, and it's not a bad thing to do. It's just that that's now the major thing to make you a lot of money. That's why you get a lot of Mr. Beast clones because it's the easiest type of content to monetize. YouTube is not fun anymore. There used to be so much trends on the internet. There used to be so much type of diversity of content, but now everyone wants to be a commentator or everyone wants to be some kind of um, Mr. Beast clone. Overall, that's what you have to be now to fit in. A commentary channel or a Mr. Beast person. You have to choose now. You can't really do vlogs anymore because they don't get as much views. Or you can't really do a lot of other types of content. You have to somehow be bold like Mr. Beast to make the most money. And those type of content is entertaining, but back in the day, it wouldn't have made it because YouTube was only focused about gaming. It really sucks because gaming was the best type of content that I grew up with. A lot of people would play games I could not afford to play, and that was the best part because you had a lot of personalities, a lot of people playing different types of games and expressing themselves in different ways. That's what I really liked about the old YouTube. And now YouTube is not about that. YouTube is not about gaming. YouTube is not about trying to be something different. It's all about just trying to be more corporate, you know? It's very difficult to make a full living on YouTube. If I were to just live only on YouTube, I wouldn't make a thing. So I would be so destitute. And this is why people should at least have other businesses, like maybe have like 3 or 4 companies, or at least sell merch as well, because your success on YouTube is never going to be forever. It's always going to be dropped, it's always going to be destroyed. There are YouTubers that barely make a million views and they have like 16, 17 million subscribers. And that's very sad because back in the day, those type of YouTubers used to make a lot of views. It's just that now their content ain't so popular. And that's the worst part because YouTube's supposed to be about personal stuff. It's supposed to be about broadcasting yourself. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm talking about my personal stuff. But back in the day, YouTube was very different. And even around 2016, YouTube was so different. And 2023 comes and YouTube is just completely messed up. It's all about the YouTube culture, and there's barely any trends on the internet. I could remember back in 2016, there were bottle flip videos, pen, pineapple, apple pen. What else? There were people doing some really cool challenges. There was the 100-degree knife challenge or whatever. There were those interesting videos. Slime content got so popular, you know? Back in the day, those type of trends were so good. But now there's no trend. There's literally no trend. There is no trend like fidget spinners or people doing something crazy or doing a silly dance. None of that exists anymore, and that's so depressing. You can't make original content because people will ridicule you. You know, anytime you try and do something different, people are going to come after you. Or if you do the same thing, people are going to come after you. Either way, people are going to come after you. YouTube has just changed completely. So, anyways, I've been doing YouTube for a couple of years and so much has changed. I remember the days when I would just do gameplay videos on my old channel and how fun it used to be. But then times changed. It was so hard just to make videos. Because I remember back in 2018, I used to make so many gaming videos. And there were days where my videos would just take a full complete day just to render. And it would just take so much of my time. I've poured like thousands of hours into YouTube. And I still never reached like 100,000 subscribers. Even with this channel, I've done so much and still never received that much. So I don't know. I really don't know. But overall, I'm starting to understand that having a smaller audience is better than having a, a major audience. If I had the amount of subscribers like Mr. Beast, that would be a luxury. But at the same time, I know very well that that will be such a stressful thing to have. Back in the day of 2016, I remember PewDiePie threatening to delete his channel, and then he one day mentioned that he just wanted to be a small channel because that was better than being a large channel. And now I can understand him because even though, yes, you'll be less popular, it's still better to have a small audience that will watch you and enjoy your content. Now there are channels with so much subscribers and so little views. It's really sad, you know? Now my views have been kicking up, not just the live streams, but you could just say the regular type of videos. So I really miss the old school of YouTube, but that will never change. We'll never get the old school back. So before I was sick, I made this video. This was around February 14th, couple weeks before I got sick. This was a very fun video to make. It was so good to make because the thing is that all you're doing is just simply editing, cutting out certain footage, mixing it around, and that's all you're doing. It's just basically a simple compilation with good music. last year I spent all of my time making these type of videos. All I can remember from last year is basically a flood which happened in my province, which happened around the early months. I remember making these type of videos during that time, and it feels like it was yesterday, but it's been an entire full year. That's how crazy it is. I remember working on certain books, but that was it. That was literally it. I worked on like hundreds of these videos. Every night I would be editing them. Well, almost every night. I would download these videos, edit them, and then sometimes I would post them, and sometimes I'll just store them away, hoping they'll be posted. Some of those videos never got posted due to other reasons, like maybe it's just too much for YouTube. But overall, it was interesting to work with these videos. It felt so relaxing. I felt like so happy to work with these type of videos. It just sucks that last year was only about the videos. I don't remember anything major happening last year. Okay, besides my teeth, besides pulling my teeth, I don't remember anything else. You know, yes, there were some political things happening and you had the Rippaverse, but overall, I feel like I feel like last year was a very simple year for me. It wasn't full of pain, it was just full of confusion. But overall, I feel like I really feel like last year was just such a very simple year. Anyways, let me just check the weather. Wow. So, is it raining? It's still raining. It's still raining. It's basically drizzling. I'm not a major fan of this weather, but I have to get used to it because it is almost winter. So I have this light to use. Anytime if it's dark like this and I don't want to peel the curtain open, what I can do is just put this light on. So let me show you the light. I was supposed to make a video on this. I was given this, what country do you live in? I live in South Africa. So right now it's going to be winter, maybe next month. So you could say a couple more weeks. So, okay, it's so dark now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I got this last week and it's so good. It's so good to have. Okay, let me untangle it. I'm struggling to untangle something so simple. Okay, I'm gonna plug it in because it's such a good light. Okay. Look at that. That's so beautiful. It really hurts my eyes because it's so bright. So I can also just make it more dim or make it more bright. I can also change the color. This is something I like. This is my favorite color because it's not so bright. Oh, so it's a good light. It's a good light. So if I want to make any video, I can use this. It's so good. It also comes with this little thing so you can put your phone on it. That's so cool. I've always wanted these back in the day, but unfortunately I just could not get them. Times were so different. Anyways, it's going to be like this for some time. It's going to be a very, very, very cold, rainy season. You speak Afrikaans. I don't know that much of Afrikaans. I learned that when I was in school, but ever since I dropped out, I totally forgot about Afrikaans. But Afrikaans was more of an easy language to understand compared to isiZulu. When we were growing up, around grade 4 and 5, we were taught two languages, isiZulu and Afrikaans. Afrikaans was even easier because I don't know, I don't even know why isiZulu was so difficult for me. And then by grade 5, the middle of grade 5, parents had to vote on which specific language do they want their children to learn. And I was terrible at isiZulu. But back then, I was basically an SJW at the time. I was such an SJW. So I wanted Zulu because I said something about I said something um, about let me do it because Zulus were here first or something like that silly thing I've said, and then we chose Zulu. Now, what I did not know was the entire class, the rest of the class, my class, you could say 93% of them. Afrikaans is more derivative of English, which I assume is your first language. English is my first language. Yes. So anyways, as I was saying, like majority of my class voted for Afrikaans. So yeah, and the other classes, the other grades voted for isiZulu majority. So even though we didn't get Afrikaans, the classes behind us always had both Afrikaans and Zulu or just Zulu. So overall, I'm glad my vote did not count back then, because Zulu was so difficult. Afrikaans was pretty easy, but when I got to grade 8, it got pretty complex. And then grade 9, it got even complexer. I can't remember who took me for Afrikaans grade 9. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. I cannot remember. I'm sorry, but I cannot recall who took me for Afrikaans. I think we had so many substitute teachers because we had this one problem back in grade 9. This was back in 2017, the good old 2017, when almost all the weather was like this, all dark and gloomy. And I remember specifically how we had so many substitute teachers for Afrikaans. So I can't remember who was the official substitute teacher. That was so insane. Grade 8 was so insane because grade 8 to 12 is basically on a separate school. So that's basically high school. So you have to, go to a new school, and things are so different. Things are so different in high school. But overall, grade 8 versus grade 9. When it comes to grade 9, I enjoyed my class a bit more because they were less rowdy. Some of my friends were separated. What happened was they decided to split the class. The class was already split to A and B, but they decided to redo it again, which was so interesting, but at the same time so sad because most of my friends were with me, but there were a couple of them that were outside my grade, and I wanted them to be with me. But overall, our class was the least noisiest. And since we had the smallest Afrikaans class, because our class, grade 9, I think it was A, grade 9A, our class was divided into isiZulu and Afrikaans learners. And majority of our class took isiZulu. So the Afrikaans class was so small and it was so quiet. Honestly, I really miss school. As much as I suffered during those times, I really miss school. Those were the best memories. If I were to go back, maybe I would. But grade 9 was something so special. It's just the work that really sucks, to be fair. It's always the work and the stress. But anyways, towards the end of the year, I slowly got even sick. Because I was sick for some time with my stomach. And it got into a point where at times I couldn't even stand up straight. And that was just so painful. And around the end of the year, I got chickenpox because there was a chickenpox pandemic going on in the school. So thank goodness I was able to, miss all those exams. But then I just did not go back after that. I did not go back because there was a lot of other things I needed to do with my stomach. I went through the hospital so many times. I was in the hospital back in 2018 for so much of the early times. I remember waking up early in the morning, waiting at the hospital. Yeah, sometimes you have to wait outside. In fact, all the times you have to wait outside. Then they collect your card, and then they do all these strange things. I've been going in and out hospital for so much of 2018. It really made me so annoyed, but at the same time, I needed to heal myself. And after they sorted out my stomach, what happened was they, you know, uh, my mother decided to take me to a separate space where they basically treat a lot of minor problems, and my minor problem was migraines. So that took like an extra couple months. Then I had to do a brain scan, and the brain scan did not really help at all. But overall, it was an interesting experience. I had a needle stuck in my hand for like an hour. Wow. It got me used to needles because before that, I used to be so scared of needles. Now I'm fine with needles. Sure, it pinches, but it's just not painful. I'm so used to it. Overall, life was so different for me back in 2017, 2018. 2019 felt like the most relaxing time because there was less stress and there was no focus on me. Because when 2018 came, all the focus was on me and my future. But 2019 came and everything was so fun. It's really interesting how life has been towards me. Sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. I don't know what's to come tomorrow. I've been sick for so long, I don't know what could be in my body. Honestly, it's sad. It really is sad. I don't want to be sick. Throughout my life, I've been stressed so much. All I wanted to do was just be away from stress. Now that I'm not away, now that I'm not away from stress, it really hurts. Because every time I have to worry about getting better, I just miss being normal. Last year, I was rarely sick. That was so good. All I did was make videos, write, and that was it. Listen to music, and that was it. It was so cool, so fascinating. But to be fair, I feel like this year is just the worst. I said that about 2020, and I said that about 2017. I'm sure I'm gonna say that again some other point in my life. Possibly. Hopefully. Hopefully not. In fact, I rather have peaceful times. Anyways, I guess that's it for the live stream. Thank you all so much for watching this. It's been a pleasure to have such a long live stream. And, okay, I will keep you updated on my health. Bye.